My name is Parthiv Shah. I'm a business growth strategist from USA. My team and I provide highly effective systems and processes that save you time, increase your revenue, and maximize your profit. Shaukat?
Hi, Shaukat from Australia. I work with investors, business buyers, and business owners who are looking to get a deal done on their term.
Great. And this is Brent. Brent is an elephant, and therefore Brent doesn't forget. Brent is a mascot to one of my books, Brent Never Forgets. See, you and I are humans, so we forget. And when we forget, we fail to do what we could have and should have done. Someday we will talk about Brent's book, maybe today, maybe someday. So let's see. Shaukat, what should we talk about today? Oh, wait, I have a question here from Brent. Yes, Brent, he can't talk. Let's see. Can you read his question?
Sure. But isn't he supposed to raise his hand?
I think he raised his hand.
Did he? Oh, yeah, look.
I see him raising. Can you see?
11 o'clock at night on Sunday.
I know. I saw him. Yeah.
Okay.
I
so
thought he was just going to listen. Yeah. I thought he was just going to listen to us talk, but he actually, the first thing he does is raise his hand. He has a question. So
I'm sure he's able to show his emotions as well with the work today. All right. So his question is, how do I know when to adopt new technology, especially when I invested and when I've invested already and haven't broken even?
Yeah, that is a question. So that's the question. So is that even a thing? I mean, is that a real question? Do people ask you that?
I get those questions. Hey, we've already got X technology. Why are we upgrading already?
Or downgrading or retiring. So what do you tell them?
So first of all, we need to look at not the technology, look at what problem are we trying to solve. Is that problem being solved with our current technology stack? And how well is it solving that problem? Secondly, if it is solving the problem, are there any opportunities that we're missing out on because of the limitation of this technology stack, which is diminishing our competitive advantage and giving that competitive advantage to a competitor? And finally, especially for business owners, if you're looking to attract investors, are they likely to invest in your business partially or fully with your current technology stack? Or are they going to say, you know what, you're a little bit legacy driven. We need a company, we need to invest in a company that is a trailblazer. So those three things I ask.
Can you elaborate on that? How do you go about making a decision whether or not to put money into new technology?
Sure. So let's assume they're not broken even. Just like any infrastructure, I'm sure you'll expand on that, but that's your expertise. But again, is it solving, are you facing problems that you're handling manually or some workaround using macros and tools that your current technology cannot solve? Is that problem so big that it's impacting your customer experience, your relationships, your employee engagement? Employees are very valuable, and overall operational rhythm of your organization, or even your department, depending on the size of the firm. If the answer is yes, it is a pain point. It's time to renew, right?
Or invest money elsewhere, or retire and migrate.
And it's time to measure the impact. Now, there's two types of impact. You've got the immediate impact, could be dollars, but then you've got the other impact, which could be employee engagement. It could be perception. Your customer might be impacted in thinking, wow, you're still backwards. So now you've got the NPS, Net Promoter Score factor. That's another factor you need to look at. And so you've got to tangibilize that and look at, okay, what is the current impact of your technology sector? And how long can your business continue to go in its current trajectory with that technology stack? So that's step one. Step two, look at the opportunities out there, the future technology stack, and do an assessment. Sure, pay a discovery fee, find out what are your options, what is the cost. There may or may not be a payback period, but what is the benefit? What's the overall ROI, and how soon will you see those benefits? How quickly? How will your employees perceive you? How will your customers perceive you? How will your suppliers, your relationship with your suppliers and your vendors and your partners improve? And so it's a matter, it comes back to basic numbers. You've got, if the benefit exceeds the cost, it's something to look at proceeding. If not, you decide at what point, what needs to happen for you to proceed with looking at a new technology. So you still need to do an assessment.
I'm writing down a few things that I want to talk about. I have a different, I look at it differently from what you're saying. And then we look at,
so like Dan Kennedy says, Patif, if we believe the same thing, then one of us is redundant.
So look, here's, so I wrote down about 3 or 4 things that comes to mind, right? First of all, before I answer my question, let's ask Brent how he feels about this. I think he largely agrees with you. Look at that, he's clapping. Okay. But I have a slightly different take on what you're saying. So first of all, I'm going to address the elephant in the room, ROI. Okay. Return on investment. I haven't even broken even yet. See, I build marketing budgets. I'm a growth scientist. So my job is to help you grow from $2 million to $3 million. And we look at how you grow and what it takes to grow your business and stuff like that. So I'm always spending money, right? I'm in the business of spending my customers' money. So I get asked this question a lot. Why am I buying HubSpot? I already have Infusionsoft. Why am I buying Infusionsoft? I already have ActiveCampaign. Why do I have to buy anything? I have Google, I have people. Why do I have to buy? That is the question. And as a strategist, I have to defend the theory that the cost of not buying the technology is higher than cost of buying the technology. Right? So it always comes down to cost of inaction. So it's not about return on investment on your yesterday's investment. It's about what is the problem? Is it a problem? Is it worth solving? What is the cost of not solving the problem? What is the cost of solving the problem? Will the problem actually be solved? What is the life of the solution? Meaning, once I solve the problem, how long will you live problem-free before the problem is now no longer solved? Because solution becomes obsolete someday, right? So I don't look at it as a, why do I have to reinvest in another technology? I just invested in something. Well, what you invested is irrelevant. Doesn't matter. If what we need to do is we need to put together a solution that is going to solve the problem we are brought in this room to solve. Now, we want to be cognizant of what is already invested. Can we use what you have, right? So let's say, Shaukat, you're giving me $10 to solve a problem, right? And that means, so there is finite amount of money on the table to solve the problem. Now, if you say, Parthiv, not just $10, I have this thing I bought. Go ahead and use that too. I got $10 plus whatever you have in your junkyard. If I can repurpose this, it's a delta on the $10 you're putting on the table, right? So I don't discard what you have automatically, but if it compromises speed, or if it alters the direction of where I want to go, in a heartbeat, I'm going to drop what you're doing and start over.
Or it impedes the direction of where you want to go.
Oh, exactly, right? It's like you cannot hire a soldier and not give him ration and ammunition. It's done. we migrate people from other primitive technologies into HubSpot, Keep, Infusionsoft, or ActiveCampaign. For CMS, I see so many people who are digitally homeless, right? I mean, a dentist making $3 million a year has a beautifully well-appointed office. Everything is wonderful. You look at their pixel estate, their web infrastructure, the thing looks like a tent in a refugee camp. Right? Now, the road to your real estate goes through your pixel estate. What do you want to look like? The first impression is going to be the digital impression. What are you willing to put your name on? That's a problem worth solving. You look worse than you would like to look. Oh, okay. But I just paid someone $500,000. Okay, I'll write that down. Now, back to the problem and what it would take to solve it. How long? So here is how I go about making decisions. Cost of solution, ease of implementation, and quality of life post-implementation. You see, we talk about ROI, and I don't know if ROI is the main factor for consideration. People always confuse asset acquisition from activity implementation. Assets in and itself don't generate a return on investment. Assets are a balance sheet activity. Marketing activities are income statement activity. You spend monies on activity, that activity generate results. Activities use the assets that you bought. So you need both. You need return on investment on activities. Assets are amortized over time. For lack of activities, assets are dead investment. For lack of assets, activities will be underperforming activities. So I take a marketing budget and divvy it up among asset acquisition and activity implementation. So the whole question, how do I justify investment in technology given I am heavily invested in technology X and I have not broken even? Well, sucks to be you. This is how we are going to solve the problem. Oh, you like that, huh? Let's see what Brent says. Brent, what do you think? Am I right, or do you think I'm being too harsh? No, he's clapping. He likes it. So
see, another thought that came to me is it makes a lot of sense. Now, the typical CFO is writing the check usually, or a finance person, or the kind of, and how do you justify that? Well, this is another thing. I don't know if it was a Harvard or MIT Sloan, but there is a case study on investing in innovation and how discounted cash flow technique is holding companies back. And one of the case studies I gave example was, you might be thinking, okay, it doesn't make sense, the NPV is negative, etc. But your competition is investing heavily. You're not operating in a vacuum. And what you don't want to be is a taxi industry when Uber comes to town, right? So it's not just about the ROI, like you said. It's about understanding that you're not operating in a vacuum, and your competition, whether it's your immediate competition, your distant competition, or a complementer or even a supplier who's going to become your competition, is probably actively investing.
I can't believe you went there, man. I can't believe you just said that. This bring back memory. I actually, you know which case study you're referring to, right? Yes. This is the ocean. This was one of the case papers we studied in my MBA in 1994. You are dating yourself long back, but it's a timeless principle. This was ocean spray. Yeah. I even remember my professor talking about this. Dr. Lucian was my professor. So this is like, and you know, wow. what you don't want to, so now you're justifying it as a defense expense.
Look,
You cannot be weaker than your competition, otherwise you're going to get you're going to get killed.
there's no such thing as permanent competitive advantage at best. And the absolute best you can hope for is temporary it can be sustainable if you're keeping ahead, but it's still temporary. The minute you take off the foot off your accelerator, you are gone. You're history.
Absolutely. No, absolutely, man. You know, I'm telling you, man, I have, so, ClickFunnels, right? I have 400 funnels in my account. We are always buying funnels, building funnels, testing funnels. I tested, Ryan Deiss created a product called Funnel Blueprint 2.0 in 2015. I tested all 19 funnels that Ryan published. Used them, copywriting, video shoot, implementing, driving traffic to it. It was a lot of work. So 400 funnels. Guess how many funnels I have in my account that are actually performing today? There are 5 core funnels, right? AskParthiv.com, MeetParthiv.com, my free report funnel, my free book funnel. Now I have a free book funnel for each one of my books. So that's right, but that's 5 main funnels. But it's always evolving. The book funnel brought in the 2 Comma Club award, but evolution is mandatory. We are always tweaking. We are always, nothing is permanent. You're right. You're so right. Anyway.
Interesting you bring up the funnel thing, and we're going to be wrapping up soon. We go
we got to wrap up. Yeah.
We'll talk next time, especially with the timeless principles, because you've got, and I'm sidetracking, but it's relevant with marketing automation. You've got people peddling a funnel as if a funnel is a business. You got the right funnel and you're set for life. Completely wrong. So we might cover that in the next episode while we wrap up this one in the next 4 minutes. But that requires a deeper dive.
Yeah. So I have a gift for you and your friends, Shakat. If any of your friends in Australia would like my funnels, I used to sell my funnels, but after winning the 2 Comma award, we decided I don't need to sell this anymore. We'll just give it away. So it takes me a minute to do so. Have them go to elaunchers.com/free, and we'll just copy my funnels in the ClickFunnels account. You need to have ClickFunnels account because they're built on that platform, and that's how we use to clone. But if anybody wants my funnels, just go to elaunchers.com/free, and we'll just give them to you.
And we'll put the link in this video in the description as well on the YouTube channel. So elaunchers.com/free, and we'll actually add the LinkedIn connection for you, so and me. We'd like to have a discussion further. And any last comments before we wrap up in 2 minutes?
Well, I am telling you, we are having a lot of fun. This video series is going to be very entertaining, educational, fun. We will always be sharing some gifts. And I'm so blessed that you decided to start this initiative. The whole elephant in the room is your idea. I absolutely love the idea. I just brought the elephant in the room. You made a video series out of it. So I'm grateful that you are doing this. I'm going to take this conversation, put it on my blog, share it with my people in America. And I believe this content that you and I are creating is going to help a lot of people. And it's cool. I'm having fun. My day is just started. You are falling asleep, so we should let you go now. It's what, almost midnight now? What time is it?
It's 11:30, and I'll give you my closing comment. I've known you for a while now. I am not a marketer. I became a marketer by default because I read too many sales copy peddling nonsense. Reached out to you because you are Dan Kennedy's. Well, what did I say? Dan Kennedy makes you pregnant, and you deliver the.
Why? Well, I sell implementation of Dan Kennedy principles to Dan Kennedy students. So my punchline to Kennedy crowd is whenever I'm talking to people who come from Kennedy ecosystem, I say Dan gets you pregnant, I deliver the baby, because Dan tells you what you are supposed to do. So you start doing it and then you get overwhelmed and say, oh crap, now what do I do? And then someone will sell you a hack. And I'm like, okay.
So how do you beat a USP like that? I'm going to call it USP. So having you, talking to you, connecting with you is extremely refreshing in a world where people are just peddling nonsense, shiny object syndrome. So thank you for coming on board. Does Brent have any last words?
He can't talk. I mean, come on, look at him. He just,
all right, Brent, you stay quiet and we'll circle back next week.
There, he's clapping and celebrating.
All right, then have a good night and good morning wherever you are.
Thank you. Bye-bye.